Okay, apparently we're live. So this is Roland from MinMax Media with Tim Longwell from Longwell Art, and also LowellAnn Fultsang from the Success Circle and Being Your Own CEO, LowellAnn.com. And we're doing a test run that's somewhat incomplete because for whatever reason we cannot get LowellAnn's hearing facility to work. However, Tim's facility, listening and speaking, and my facility, listening and speaking, are working just fine. So for the record, Tim, what would you just say a few words, please?
Yeah, we can figure out why LowellAnn is not hearing when she's inside LightStream. We should have that part of the issue resolved, but we're not sure where the incompatibility is right now. But otherwise, sound seems good inside. Depends on how good it sounds on the broadcast now.
So we are literally streaming to the DIY live streaming show website, and it is complete. It's showing in the website.
Okay. I'm going to have her say something about the sound or something.
Right. And just have her speak, even though we cannot get her to hear us. And
say something about sound. Are you hearing? You're asking me to speak so you can tell if you're hearing? Yeah. So there's a message here from Mitchell. It says, are you able to hear anything else from your computer? I make sure nothing is muted on the computer itself, and your output is the correct speaker headset as well. So I just responded. I just came off a Hangout, which I hosted and had no problems. And I've made no adjustments, none.
Yeah, so we have some kind of compatibility issues that what I will do is I will send a copy of this to Mitchell and the gang and to let him know that we're sampling this and that we just came out of the Hangout and had all the settings.
Well, they can go look at the back end data that way. If you let him know what the show number was and everything from LightStream.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send him the link to this show, and he'll have back in action.
So I can hear you. And how do I do that?
This
is bizarre.
It's so funny. So we'll not extend this too much longer, but for the record, everything worked for pre-scheduling the Hangout today, and we're able to stream it directly to the DIY LiveStreamingShow.com website, and the same way I would have done a Hangout on air, and it looks just fine. And the good thing about it is that we're able to arrange the set so that it's suitable with 3 people, no problem. I can also see modifying this to be with four screens on the set. And the way we have it right now is if I was...
I'm going to plug my headset in because I had that plugged in during the Hangout.
That's a good idea, Lowell.
Maybe it's stuck there.
Like that should have been probably the first thing we tried. But anyway.
I didn't know about the headset.
Yeah, well, I didn't either because she's usually got her speakers on, and that creates a feedback issue in some cases. So I just assumed she did the same thing, but she might try her headsets and make that work.
Yeah, it might not have switched when she unplugged it. I've had that happen.
Also, to give you an idea.
Now, LowellAnn?
Apparently not.
Are you talking?
Yes, we are.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, so we have more research to do and maybe testing from a couple more people too. The way it's set up right here is if I had...
Oh, wait a minute.
If I was interviewing somebody and
I'm
then
going to go out and come back in.
This is what she needs to, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
anyway, we set it up so that if the interview was complete and I could speak with LowellAnn as a guest, then I would be having Tim additionally here as a comment wrangler. And what he would be doing is like posting comments from the VCP events page. And then we would actually be
There's
featuring...
no screen share feature over here for my side.
No, but from the dashboard, I could arrange another screen, and I could capture you as a separate feed. And then when you screen shared your, just, you know, went full screen with your display instead of your camera, which we will figure out how to do. All I have to do is pick
I'm saying there's no controls for me to do that on this side. You would have to control all of that.
Right.
Like
I
Be Live, you would have to do the screen share just like Be Live does it, apparently.
When we figure it out, what we'll do is I'll have a second scene ready that displays just your camera feed or just your particular.
And we'll have to figure out
display.
how we do that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more technicalities to how we're going to figure that out. But then all I would have to do is do a scene switch between myself or the primary scene and a secondary scene, which would be a screen share of the comment. So that's it's just another thing we have to figure it out. So I'm going to rebuild the scene real quick. And I'm bringing LowellAnn back into the picture here. Let's see.
She's going to try restarting. It could be something Windows has done where it hung.
Very possibly. So I'm going to go ahead and delete her scene there. Delete her camera feed, I mean. And we had just the two of us in the feed, so that's what it's capped. Let's see. I'll go ahead and send the adjustments to the... I have to remember is whenever we have an adjustment to the scene changes, and I have to resend the changes to the stream so that the stream records the changes. So we'll see. And anyway, I think that we've got somebody watching the test right now. I think Aaron's out there and he sees what's going on. But we're having a bit of a problem with the third person not being able to hear what was going on in the green room. So Tim and I are connected pretty completely, but LowellAnn was not able to complete her connection. So we have a little bit of a problem there. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we'll give her another couple minutes to see what happens, and then we'll wrap it up. But the one good thing is that we are broadcasting to my website from a LightStream production started from YouTube. So it's perpetuated a bit differently, and it's done differently. But once we have the Hangout URL and not the Hangout URL, the YouTube URL, we run it the same way we do Hangouts on air. So that all broadcasted to the website just fine. And when the time came and we went live, it went live to the website with a slight delay. So I would say it's about a 5 or 6 second delay. So that's the overall latency of the broadcast. That's not bad. One of the biggest protests for streamers when they're doing these things, Hangouts, was the fact that when you do a Hangout, there might have been upwards of a 30-second lag between the time we were creating the broadcast live and the actual appearance of something embedded in a website or in YouTube. It'd take about 15 to 30 seconds. So this is considerably faster than that. And although it is not instantaneous, it's good enough as far as I'm concerned, especially for free. So one thing that we'll have to do is decide. There are things that it can't do. There are things that they'll still have to fix. But with what they've provided us, how good a show can we produce? And what are the things that we can do with this? And I see some good opportunities here.
Yeah, there's definitely some. Since we started testing this, they've made a lot of good progress. So it'll be nice to see where they go.
Yeah. And at least when you came in last time, you appeared there and I had you in here, but the sound was horrible and we couldn't, connect properly. So whatever it is, either you or they figured that out, and at least we have your sound figured out. So we'll figure this out and conquer this one too. But I have a feeling it might be on LowellAnn's side, but who knows?
Windows wanted to do an update for her when she rebooted, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, a Windows update might take half an hour. So anyway, I don't know. I think there's at least progress with what we've accomplished today. This is the first time I tried an advanced scheduling in YouTube, and it's a bit convoluted. You have to take an RTMP feed URL and a stream key from YouTube, plant it in LightStream, and then broadcast from there. But it generates a new event in your lineup in live streaming in YouTube. It creates an event, and then if you access the URL of the event, you can copy that and use it in the VCP events plugin the same way we do Hangouts on it. Yeah, same way. But there were a bunch of questions unanswered when I tried to set that up. I was like, what about this? What about that? I had no answers. But going through it today, I figured out a few things. Okay, and it's all there. It's just we hadn't done it before.
Yeah, it's partially successful then. We're still having to find out is it a bug or is it an issue that we need to look at for our guests?
Right. So if we invite one or two other people to try this out and we get them in just fine, then we know the problem is probably on LowellAnn's end and some compatibility issue. But if we experience these problems repeatedly, then we know that it's very probably a LightStream or a compatibility with YouTube and LightStream problem.
Right.
But I mean, if we're here together doing what we want to do, and if we had a one-on-one presentation, so far the only thing that we can't do is do a screen share.
Yep.
But if we're doing a show that's produced as interview style, this would work great.
Yeah.
So, there are still things that we can't do that Hangouts on Air with the VCP events plugin is better. But maybe we'll make that progression.
I'll have to get my test key off of my others, because I've got two channels. I've got the business channel, then I've got my personal. I'll have to get the RMTP key off my personal channel and go run some tests.
Yeah, but the thing is, for this particular accessibility, we go to YouTube and access the RTMP and the stream key from YouTube to put them into LightStream, not the other way around.
I understand how that works. That's not a problem. I understand how that works. I'm just saying, rather than because you remember I use OBS a lot, so
right. So usually you take the OBS
keys
key
the same way, right? It's the same principle,
right? It's the
difference
same.
Is I'm not running the software, so that's one less thing on my CPU.
Right. All of this is good ideas. So we'll just have to see how it extrapolates out, how it rolls out. But we'll see if LowellAnn just about ready to come back in.
I don't know. I don't know if she's on her phone, off her phone yet.
Okay. Oh, WeWake is watching us live. So WeWake is just a test that we're doing for a new facility, which you can tell us what you think of LightStream and what we're producing. The blank space on the right-hand side of the screen is where the picture of LowellAnn would have been had we successfully got her sound working. But we got her into the picture and we could hear her, but she had no sound as to what was being produced by us. So in that respect, we failed. But we did find out some really cool things. We did find out some cool things, and LightStream is compatible with the YouTube feed, and it is compatible with, in that respect, with generating an event to the VCP events plugin. So if we get the other things ironed out, this might be an alternative to Hangouts, especially if they do what they indicate they can do, and that's put as many as 8 streams of incoming feeds. In other words, I could put 8 people on the screen at a time, or use combinations of up to 8 people. So that would
depends on how many you can actually bring in the room versus holding in a lobby.
Well, there is no lobby. Well, there is a lobby. There is a lobby, so to speak, but I don't.
Yeah, they don't call it that, but that's what, until you bring us into the show, that's
true.
That's the lobby.
But one thing that's problematic to do that during a show, because it puts you on the screen full screen, and then you have to resize it from there. So I'm not going to be doing that very often, unless you had some presets like, let's make the incoming video feeds.
I'm sure there's ways to set a default new guest goes pop.
Well, if they program that in, that's one thing, but I don't think that they've got it programmed in right now. What they are going to do is try to give the optional feed into from the so-called green room, the option of going 16:9, 4:3, or 1:1 in the size ratio. And that'll change things up a bit, because if we wanted to do bigger squares next to each other, or stack the squares differently, then we'd have that option. And one thing that I thought of for Heidi is that when she's interviewing one person and they're right there, and if she's got herself and what's his name? Anyway, her partner, and they're side by side, they can go 16:9 or 4:3, and then make their guest 1:1 and take up a little less space, and they can have a little bit more space, and then balance out the screen when they're doing a duet with the one camera.
Right.
Okay, so LowellAnn finished her update, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want her to try to come back in again?
Well, I think that's why she was doing all this. But all in all, it looks pretty good, and the set, so to speak, still nothing apparently.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. She doesn't give the impression she hears us, does she?
No. So that's probably about all we're going to get done today.
you're still live via YouTube, it looks like.
Yeah.
No, you will have to go into YouTube and stop the stream.
Well, I think I can end the stream right here.
Oh.
I have the button, so to speak, to stop the stream here.
Okay, because I'm showing offline, so I didn't know if you were still live or not.
It's showing offline?
I'm seeing offline inside there, but Vivek says it's still live.
It's still live. It's still going to my website.
Okay.
So let's see if I can just at least add LowellAnn and her camera to the feed. We'll know in 5 seconds or so.
No,
there she comes.
She can't hear us as far as I can tell.
So she can't. Unfortunately, we'll have to apologize to her for that.
He wants a screenshot. Mitchell wants a screenshot. Probably of your settings and her.
Yeah, I will send him both, and because I haven't touched anything once we went live. So what I will do is I will take the video itself and give him screenshots of the setup without LowellAnn's picture, with LowellAnn's picture, and then I'll send them both to him. So I think that's the best we can do, and the intention of what we're designing is pretty obvious. So at least we know, that that's the facility, the way it is designed, and is almost working very well. But we'll have to figure out these couple of issues. So overall, what do you think? Well, what's your assessment, Tim?
I was not able to see the monitor of the stream inside. And not thinking about it, I didn't have the YouTube page on or anything. So I really don't have any idea.
Now, come to think of it, I don't have a feed for the inside, for the mix also. For the production, I'm not seeing the stream feed within the dashboard. And I was able to do that last week, but I think they removed that. It's probably something that they're going to offer in an upgraded buy version of what we're talking about. And we just lost LowellAnn. I think she dropped out. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll go ahead and wrap this up and cancel out, and then I'll do the screenshots and so forth off the video.
Yeah, because Vivek was asking if we could see the chat on the YouTube page. I don't even have the web address for the YouTube page. I was just getting ready to look you up to find it.
No, that's all right. But I did not make the connection so that people could come to the page with the production, and that was my fault. One of my oversights for this particular test. But the next one we do, we'll make it complete where they have a URL from YouTube to click through and go to the VCP page. Oh,
yeah.
LowellAnn is coming in one more time. I just want to check and see. And obviously it's not working, so.
I'm showing that she's giving us sound so we can hear her. But apparently she's still not hearing us.
Yeah, and you're right. My monitor says that the sound is picking up. Type something to her and ask her to say a few words before we wrap up. So it's pretty cool. The live feed adjusts automatically and puts her camera feed in there. It's time to leave you. Okay. So we're going to wrap it up for now, and I'll make the screenshots to send to Mitchell. And but I think it's about an 85%. Yes. We're an 85% success story. We just have some other little bits and pieces to tie up. So thank you very much for watching and the feedback from a couple people in the field. I appreciate that, and we'll do an advanced test. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, LowellAnn.
Okay.